excited about what's coming. With diverse models, powered by diverse powertrains, for diverse customer needs. Tailor-made for excitement and passion. Because when people come first, their dreams never come second. Opening a new world of possibilities.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this very important event. As you've seen, this is basically our Daring Africa initiative, which is basically done by our Navara. As you've seen, we've crossed 8,000 kilometers without any incident, and this shows how tough is our Nissan Navara. And this is basically what we're sharing with you today. Today, we're going to share with you some new variants and new updates in our Navara model year 2025. You will test drive the vehicles. You'll have chance to also ask anything about the vehicle and all the different variants that we are also promoting for the first time today. Also, I want to welcome all our executives that are joining us today. They made sure to block their calendars on the day. Jordi, our Nissan Africa president, thank you for making it here. Sharif, our managing director for Nissan Africa. Maciek, our managing director for South African IMA markets. Shafiq, our plant director. Edison, our chief marketing director. And Tessa, our brand director for Africa as well. So thank you very much. We're going to start now with a short business review. We're going to show you our business strategy in Africa for Navara and how this is linked to the global strategy. and we're going to take it also to the next level and share with you exactly what we are going to put on the market in the coming days. So thank you very much once again for being with us today, and please feel free to ask any question during the Q&A session that will happen in 20 minutes. So let me ask Jordi to come to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rami, and the slides. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. This is an easy one to go to the stage. It's a half meter, so that's easy. My pleasure to be here. I think today it's about exchanging and experiencing. So still we have some, let's say, explanation on product mostly. But what I would do as well is to help to frame what is the Nissan strategy, why we're here at the end, and especially where we tend to go. So it's just a few slides, but to place where we stand, why we place so much attention into gathering all together, and to invite you in a number of events in the past, today, and likely in the future, is because we are in a crucial moment in the situation of Nissan, and especially in the situation of Nissan in Africa, which I'd like to share with you. What you can see here is a beautiful D-Arc. In very short, what you can see on the left, your left of the slide, is what we call the Nissan Next Transform. It's the, let's say, overhaul plan which ran until 2023. So basically rationalizing the production, cutting some costs, reinvesting in new products, and making it sure that the company has a global level, the capacity to reinvest in new products, in new technologies, which is really what matters for us, but for the customers. That's very important. Today, we are in what we call the arc, is the upper part of the center of the slide. The arc, you know, we have an ambition until 2030, but the arc is what we call our plan, 3-year plan. So it's the second 3-year plan, which goes from 24 to 26, okay? And by the way, all the focus on new launches, and certainly on the model year of Navara, is paramount and central to the development of the arc, which, to make it simple, is not about restructuring, but it's more about growing, which is very important. And then this ties up to what we call the Nissan Ambition 2030. Nissan Ambition 2030 is not a plan with 2,000 figures. There is a vision of zero emission at some regions of the world, zero fatalities, and especially making big improvements on the carbon footprint, okay, improvement. But this translates into different strategies and different, let's say, targets in the different continents, because of the realities are also different. So on the left, as I say, a lot of work done, and on the right, a lot to be done, but I prefer to go directly to this one. This is why we're here, is because, and I like to show this slide. This slide was presented by our Chief Executive Officer when he explained the arc. Okay, so we're explaining the arc at global level, so Nissan at global level, which is a company that sells way away of 3 million vehicles per year. And here you can see is the different regions of the world within what we call AMIO1. And in many years, I have to highlight, is the first time there is a column dedicated to the strategy in Africa. It explains the all new 2 SUVs, A segments, and frankly, there are other models, minor changes that we have explained, and we'll have opportunities to explain to you very soon, or soon. But what is important is there is a mention that we want to invest in Africa, where we put so much emphasis, focus, all of us, is also backed up by this reality. And I think it's important we understand. The other part which we are very proud, I have to say, now there was the Daring Africa, which was tying South Africa to Egypt, which has a lot of meanings, by the way, including the famous road, is that we are one of the, not the only OEM, that has 2 directly owned factories, plants, one in South Africa, specialized in trucks with erratic pickup, and Egypt, more specialized in passenger cars. And with that, of course, we have a strategy to cover not these 2 countries, but the whole territory of Africa, and in some cases, export beyond, you know. And that's very important because we have a clear strategy of complementarity. On top, you can see Ghana and Nigeria. These are, let's say, CKD assembly lines through our importer. And maybe what's important here is that it's about building in Africa for Africa. That's very important, which is at the core of our strategy. and expanding the footprint. Expanding the footprint because we've been very good to be, certainly in Egypt, South Africa, in the past, despite we lost the half-ton pickup, but it's been a high presence country for Nissan always, but also very strong in a few markets, not necessarily in others, where we're opening and pushing to increase our presence. I put an example. If you take the North Africa markets, Algeria, Libya, Morocco, etc., we are getting into there. By the way, we are growing the volume of vehicles produced in South Africa, namely Navara, of course, and they are at the core of our expansion strategy. Okay? Vice versa, also we do the same with Egyptian production to be, being sent to other countries of Africa. I will not go to every detail, but it's very important to understand it's not only built in Africa for Africa, but especially there is an idea to export from these countries to other countries of the continent, and I add up potentially as well other continents in there. Maximizing current assets is as a consequence of what I just said. Growing the existing markets, so where we are, of course, we want to grow. I'm telling clearly in South Africa, we lost MP200, so half-ton pickup. But when I look at the performance of Navara, we're growing. Same for Magnite, by the way, and a few other models, and more to come. And of course, the exploring new export opportunities is what I explained before. So, if you need to remember something, is what's written here. We have a clear commitment for the continent. We continue, I used to say 60 years, but I'm reminded 61 years now of presence and legacy. In 61 years, many things happen, no? There's better moments and worse moments. Not everything is easy always, but I think the important is the loyalty that Nissan, as a Japanese company and Japanese DNA, has. We are really a long-term, minded company, which has a vision and also can navigate better or worse situations. And now clearly we're getting into the positive because we talk about model year launches and new models coming here and certainly capturing new opportunities. So that's basically it. I will hand over to Maciek, who is the Managing Director of South Africa and Export Markets. And we'll go soon into the products, which is the core and the start of the day. And we'll be, of course, all around very pleased to be in this beautiful location, which is great. And for sure, very happy to exchange later on Q&As or any other item. Thank you very much for your attention. Maciek, back to you.
Thank you very much, Jordi. Yes, that's important. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm always pleased to see you all, be close to the people who are really having a very good mindset about our product, but also having a chance to test it and to feel it. It's very important that you will get that opportunity today, and I think this is the key objective for the day. A few things from my side, not so many I can add, but I just would like to remind you that Nissan South Africa plant, Rosslyn, is already here for 61 years. It's very important. It's very important to understand the heritage and the products which were going out from that factory, and Isa will share with you more details about that. It shows not only our commitment, but also sustainability of the brand within a country. And Jordi already mentioned that we will continue that investments, but I would like to come back to the previous investment. Just after the lockdowns, COVID, and all the things which happened, we have invested more than 3 billion rands into that factory, just to open a production of new model year 21 Navara. It's very important to remember that. Rosslyn, it's a hub for the whole continent. When we look at the map, it's more than 9,000 kilometers, and Nissan is present already in almost all countries on the map for Africa. So it's our hub for export as well. It's not only a production place for South Africa, but we are exporting, of course, cars from that place. It's a home for the entire range of Navara. Very important that we are, of course, remembering, just to remind you, that we are producing as well single cab, double cab, and some special version of Navara as well here. One more. 90 years of experience, 90 years of presence for Nissan is linked with 61-year presence of Nissan in Africa. It's really something outstanding. There are no other regions at the world which can show the presence of the brand for more than 61 years. In 2022, Navara was the winner, the car of the year. It's very important. It's very important to mention about the product, which is great, but also durability of the product and all the elements which were recognized with that new Navara. By 2024, we are returning with our trip, I can say round trip a little bit, Daring Africa, which you already participated, and you've seen the movie which was showing and showcasing that through entire continent. I was very happy and proud to see Navara entering our export countries and the happiness of our customers, which could really touch and feel that product which we are producing specifically in South Africa. What's happening next is very important to continue a story which Jordi mentioned. We have a plan. We have a plan for South Africa and Nissan in South Africa. So we are maximizing full utilization of Rosslyn plant as a hub. We are continuing to develop the product, bringing up what you will notice today, an additional special specifications, not only designed for South Africa, but we are of course adapting product for the countries in the export. We are leading, of course, our business, always looking for the customer needs, hence our adaptation for the products, hence our also check what are the customer expectation for example, for the engines. So we are making some development on that as well. At that stage, because it's just ahead or behind the corner, I would like to announce that as a brand, as a Nissan, we will move our headquarters from the Rosslyn plant. We will move closer to the Johannesburg, and we will move our office to the Irene Park very soon. It's a month from now, and we will be located as well in that place. We will keep, of course, our offices, Monozukuri team, but also other part of our business at Rosslyn plant. But we will move also many people as in our new hub close to Irene Park. Just to remind you something which is for us a proof that we, first of all, we know what we produced, how good product we produce, but also that we can perform every year better. You see on the right side our performance increase year on year. So despite the fact that NP200 is not produced anymore in Rosslyn, we could manage to grow our volume of Navara. So if you look at the double cab, we managed to, until now, so it's a 5 months already, 22% growth year on year. Single cab, more than 30. And also for the export, we are growing. Jordi mentioned that we are focusing on opening new destinations for Navara to strengthen operation in Rosslyn plant, to build more cars in South Africa, and make sure that we can also deliver a better proposal to our customers. So the export was also growing during that time by more than 17%. So it's a fantastic news for us, but that shows also our commitment to the market. I'm looking really forward for even more innovations. So there are two elements which are quite important. Navara for us, and of course Magnite. Already today I can announce to you that we are going to bring some innovation with Nissan Magnite. It's coming very soon. It will still happen in that calendar year. Edison is with us. He's working very hard to announce all details to the public and to journalists in the coming weeks, but we'll have fantastic adjustment and improvement on the product. Now, I said we are producing Navara General, but I think Isa can introduce you more into the details of the product. And of course, she will be open to answer all your questions from technicalities also to the specification of that new model year 25 Navara. Thank you very much. Isa?
Good morning everyone. Okay, before I start, I'd love to play you a little summary video.
The Nissan Navara entered the African market 3 years ago, building on 8 decades of proven LCV heritage on the continent. The mission and promise was clear: to deliver a pickup with the ultimate in Japanese reliability. designed and built for African conditions with the promise of more. We pushed the envelope of what was possible, defied convention, and the Nissan Navara lived up to its promise, heritage, and expectation by proving itself in different markets, under different conditions and in different roles. A new breed of pickup that is built of more and ready to work for business, for governments, and for you. As we continue to expand into new territories and grow our footprint further north into Africa, our commitment and continuous support to refine and improve our offering throughout Nissan Independent Markets Africa remains stronger than ever to benefit all dealers, partners, and customers. We are excited to announce that the Nissan Navara will receive updates to align with business and consumer demands with the right vehicle, with the right specifications at the right price. We dare to move to uncharted territories, and we will continue to take on real-world challenges of the week and the weekend. The Nissan Navara, built of more and ready to work for you and your business.
Okay, so before I tell you about all of these new updates and the model range expansion, taking a step back a little bit, Jack mentioned, listen, we've been around for 9 decades, and even our bakkie building experience is almost 9 decades long. When we launched the first commercial pickup here, the Datsun Truck 13 in 1935, we've been in South Africa for 6 decades. We've built the iconic 1400 bakkie. We've built the hard body. We built the MP200 since 2008. And then in 2021, we built the Navara Africa. So what do we mean when we say built for Africa? It really is engineered for Africa. So our engineers go into the market and we really test the road conditions, the usage, and we determine the severity requirements of the market. So just a few examples of how this bakkie is engineered for our markets. If you look at the chassis has been reinforced. The load box has been reinforced to really give you that durability. Front suspension, new coils and shocks specifically for our market and road conditions. Another example, interesting, on the hood at the front, there in front of the radiator core, we use high tensile steel. So the same steel that you get in your protection cage, we put there in the front so it doesn't bend. And that's where you get that pothole durability from. Even the powertrain that we chose, this 2.5 litre turbo diesel engine, it's specifically chosen because it's tried and tested in the African market, and it still gives you all the power and efficiency that our customers demand. Navara, you know, it comes with exceptionally high levels of safety. So even from our entry grades, there's dual airbags, ABS, EBD, all of that. Driving age, we have hill start assist, hill descent control. You can experience that for yourself. And then a lot of our Nissan intelligent mobility features have also been built into the Navara. You know this well. One example, for example, forward emergency brake. So if the car brakes in front of you, it gives you a warning. And if you don't respond, the car can brake for you. Then one place we've really put an exceptional amount of focus is on the premium drive quality and handling. So you know we have a unique coil suspension at the back. And that coil suspension gives you a lot less friction than a traditional leaf suspension, but still the same and even more load capacity. The steering, you're going to feel it. It's quick and secure. It's got less lock-to-lock turn, so you're going to experience that for yourself. And also when you get into the car, the seat back has been reinforced here along the spine, and we've tested it on these long African roads and proven it gives you up to 30% less fatigue than a normal driving seat. Inside the cabin, you're going to notice for yourself all the SUV-like cabin features. You're going to see the intelligent key and the dual aircon, etc. Then I am really excited to announce all these model changes we're doing in the model year 25 range expansion. So we listen to the voice of our customers, and you'll see throughout the range there's a number of updated features, specifically what our customers asked for. And we saw some good opportunities in the market, so we've expanded our range. Right at the bottom, we're launching a new entry grade double cab, almost there where the hard body was. So specifically built for fleets, everything that a fleet customer wants or businessman wants. So it's got not the same low levels of noise, vibration, harshness that we put so much effort in for our private customers. It's got the leaf spring, but it's got all your airbags, your central lock, your power windows, everything that a businessman can demand. Then you'll see from January on our mid-grades, there's some additional specification. So there's going to be a new touchscreen audio, there's going to be new rear step bumpers, etc. And then another nice opportunity that we saw, specifically for families, is a new LE grade, so a new high grade with the right spec and at a very good price for your family market. Above that, you still have your LE grade, so that's going to have then the leather power seats and even more Nissan Intelligent Mobility technologies. And then right at the top, we've got the beautiful iconic Pro 4X and Pro 2X grades. And when you go outside, and you might have seen it in the market already, across the range, we've got a modernized version of the iconic Nissan badge. So the Nissan word mark in that rising sun of Japan. So really looking forward to you experiencing the products, and hope that you enjoy.
Okay, thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you very much, Lisa. Before we go into the Q&A panel, we have a small announcement by Shafiq.
Oh, me.
Yes, it's your turn. Nothing.
Just checking. Okay, so this morning you'll notice there's a vehicle outside with lots of handprints on them. When we initially launched the Nissan Navara, Japan couldn't travel. A lot of the European people that needed to come and finish our facilities also couldn't travel. And we had sent many Nissan South Africa local people to actually go and learn how to assemble the vehicle in Japan, as well as in Thailand. They also went to Spain at the time. So we really recognize the importance of individuals, of people, of local staff members in the creation of value in Nissan South Africa. So we created a program or an initiative called the Hands That Built, which is that physical vehicle that you see outside. It's been very successful for us because through the local people's skills and ability, we are able to compete with other Nissan plants globally, because our real competitor is actually the Nissan Thailand, Nissan China, Nissan Mexico, and Nissan Argentina that produce the same vehicles. And through our local staff, we are able to produce the vehicles to the same, if not better, quality levels than them. And today with me, I've got Patrick, if you don't mind standing, as well as Mandla. So Patrick is actually the head of our trim and chassis line. So within our manufacturing operation, we have body assembly, where we do the spot welding. We've got the stamping plant with actually stamp panels. We've got the painting plant where we actually paint the vehicle. And then on the trim and chassis line, they do the final assembly. And there's normally jokes amongst the different teams, and the trim and chassis guys normally say, we're the only people that really build a vehicle. Because the other guys just build panels and they paint things, but they actually give birth and they turn the vehicle into an actual product. So Patrick is our senior supervisor, and we've also invited Mandla today. Mandla is one of our members that works on the trim and chassis, and he's actually the one that fits the actual Nissan hamburger logo on the front and the back of the vehicle. So I'd like to thank both of you for the hard work that you've done, and I'm very proud to be a member of the Nissan South Africa team.
Well done. Thank you, Shafiq. So I'll ask Jordi, Maciek, Shafiq, and Isa to join, please.
I'll sit beside alone.
Oh, Maciek will join. Okay, I think it's time now for your questions. So we're happy to get any question. Maybe someone will help with the mic. Yeah. Okay. Who wants to start? Thank you.
Hi, I just want to double check. There's no mechanical changes to the Navara. Is it just a trim specification?
Yes, it is. At this stage, no specific mechanical changes, but trim and quite a lot of features as well. And then the two new grades, the one new entry grade, though, has a big mechanical change in that we're introducing the leaf spring on the double cab versus the coil.
Any other question? Could be Navara, could be anything else. It's an opportunity. Yes, please.
Yeah, so my question is just really around your SUV plans. Obviously, you talk a lot about Navara, but South Africa being quite the leisure market, SUVs is quite popular. So what's your strategy and future plans around SUVs?
I'll ask Maciek to respond to this.
Thanks. SUV is the fastest growing segment all around the world. So also we see that in South Africa. We have a number one representation in the PB SUV segment, which is Magnite, and we are very proud of that. But we have already recently announced that there is a very big investment with an alliance that Nissan is doing in India, in factory in India. And within this midterm plan, we are planning to bring 2 new SUVs to the lineup of Nissan in South Africa. The products will also join the whole continent. So there is a big opportunity for whole Africa to enjoy Nissan SUV cars within next 2 years.
That would be 4x4, not just crossover.
I'm talking about the SUV segment. Sometimes it can be a 2x4 or 4x4 solutions can be included, but in general it will be as SUV cars.
Thank you.
Good morning. It's Grant from Ultra Forum. The question is, I notice your coverage of West, North and Southern Africa. Have you got plans for the eastern sector of Africa?
We are quite strong already in the east part of Africa. In fact, the right-hand drive countries are right now developing very fast. We are proud of that. Of course, starting from the next country, Zimbabwe, and going up, our presence is already there. Also, looking for the islands, we have a very strong footprint in Madagascar and Mauritius with the level of 20% market share. So we are proud of that.
Just to complement, because I think that's absolutely, maybe it was about the eastern part, continent, but what I would say is we are looking also ways to to accelerate that growth. And actually, I would say we are present, but on the wake of the explanation on the growth of export, it was 17% shown in the slide of Maciek. One thing is clear, our target is to further increase this percentage. I'm not giving you further figures, but it's probably a lot of the focus. Of course, growing in South Africa, but I think the biggest opportunity in percentage of growth is still in these markets, and it's something we have very high on our strategy. I mentioned before as well in Northern Africa, etc., but I think your question was on sub-Saharan Africa.
That's from Kenya and potential SKD projects.
We are looking at it. Today, as you saw on the chart, we have on the west part, which is Ghana and Nigeria. I would say where it makes sense for us to develop an SKD project, we can do. Today, we didn't freeze that direction. And even when we do an SKD project, of course, the source of the plant is here in South Africa.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes, in fact.
Thank you. My name is Fact from Financial Gazette Zimbabwe. My question is on Daring Africa. It was so exciting and adventurous, and I was so glad to have been a part of it. Looking at the new lineup, should we expect an installment for 2025? And if there's something happening for Daring of Africa in 2025, should we expect more countries than the 8 that were covered in 2024?
Yes, thank you, Fact, and thank you for being part of this. I think this will work. Thank you for being part of this. The first in the first countries, and I think the idea is, and then you've seen in the video, it's just a start. I think this is our direction, is really to conquer Africa, and this is also part of our brand promise to be daring. And I think we have the right products to test it in Africa. So the idea is, yes, to continue building on Daring Africa 2024, and definitely we'll announce this soon enough for everyone. And yeah, I think this is for us is a strong platform going forward. Questions?
I think Rami, if you can add that we finished that in Egypt last week, yeah?
Yes, I think just a couple of days ago, and Jordi was there as well. We had the finale of this, and we had also introduced Navara to the Egyptian market. I think that's the key thing, is this Daring Africa was concluded in Egypt because we were introducing the Navara coming from the Roslyn plant to the Egyptian head office of Nissan. And basically now Navara is available for the Egyptian market, and that's an opportunity for more exports from South Africa.
Yeah, I actually missed to say before, I was only talking about expanding markets, and we didn't mention Egypt. It's good you made, and it's symbolic that we linked South Africa to Egypt, the road, and the symbol also of the the stronger African, open African market, which is part of other discussions on ACFTA and so on. But beyond the symbols, or aside of the symbols, you need to bring realities. And the reality is, say this, and that's good for all of us here, it's good for the planet, certainly it's good for all of us, that we are launching the model where in Egypt today there is local assembly in competition, but we have very good expectations, especially on some fleet business, that we could really go good. So I think it's very nice that on top we ended up the Daring Africa into a very concrete business proposition, and very soon we're going to start the volumes over there, which is also adding up to the rest of the continent. Of course, colleagues of the factory in Egypt want to see how many vehicles from there we can sell here, but that's another discussion that we have in parallel. Depends on the specification. That's a good point.
I just want to ask about whether or not Nissan has any plans for any new energy vehicles, hybrids, electrics, because I believe at one point that Nissan was looking at a hybrid version of the Qashqai, but that's since been pulled from the market, so probably like an update.
Yeah, so no, it's a good point. Let's say worldwide we have our approach to the segment that you call hybrid is e-power, which is somehow a different technology. And I think we believe, or you have to experience it. It gives much better driving, let's say, performance and pleasure. while keeping the consumption at a very reasonable levels, because basically the traction is basically done with the battery, to make it very simple. Then the next question is the expansion of this technology, which is very widespread in Japan, very widespread in Europe. It goes into Africa, but it goes step by step. Okay, why? We're just trying to find what we call the showroom logic, which models at which price and which category fit. Whether your question will be for South Africa, we're looking at it, for example, in some models, but it's part of what we call the product plan. But if you ask us what do we have instead of part of combustion engines, it's e-power as a technology. We also have some hybrid versions of Juke in some other continent, but e-power is really our bet. And from there too, we have a big lineup of electric vehicles, which is growing, which could be another part of another discussion, because we tend to say in Africa there is not a big market for the electric vehicles, but I personally contest that. It could be a segment for some fleets, not majority, but that could be interesting. But that's part of the product plan, what we call we're working on.
You talking about all your growth locally and through Africa. Obviously you're aware of it, but what sort of impact do you think this Chinese invasion of pickups, bakkies are going to affect? I mean, you're trying to grow your market share and they're busy unloading new models every week.
Yeah, probably many of us can answer this, but let me answer, because I wouldn't answer only from the standpoint of South Africa or Africa. I think everybody say what's happening with the Chinese. We need to accept China is a real producer of vehicles, and we need to accept and acknowledge the Chinese brands will be around the world. This is a fact. Now, my experience also from other regions is, first, they come very strongly. How to phrase it in good English? They go in many directions. Not always they remain consistent with the positionings and approaches, but a number of brands are making it their growth. Look, they will be there. And what's important for us is, what is our positioning, okay? For us, we are very proud and also very confident where we're coming from. 61 years or 90 years, okay? Let me say, I'm not talking about the others, but quality, okay? We call ourselves unbreakable car, but that's maybe a statement, but you understand the direction, what we do. We believe on our brand positioning. We believe on our, we just not, we believe, we know which is our brand positioning. We know our customer base is also very strong. And again, not talking about Chinese, but we care a lot about the after sales, the service, the spare parts, and the loyalty to the customers. We believe these strengths give us a space in the marketplace. But again, I mean, there will be competition of China and maybe in the future from other producers. We just need to, we reinforce our positioning, and we believe that's a good base. And we know many customers that, by the way, are owners of Nissan 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and also we work a lot on this base.
Okay, thank you very much for all your questions. I think that's the interesting part is basically to test drive this vehicle into different road conditions. So we have a test drive outside of the park, and then we'll come here for a 4x4 experience. So maybe John, if you can just brief us, and thank you very much everyone for your time. John will brief us on what's going to happen now. Yeah, and let's get ready. Thanks.
Thank you.